Welcome back to the sorting room. Becca, we've got a big one today.
Oh, I know. My phone would not stop buzzing this weekend.
Deadline confirmed on August 11th, Nicholas Hoult is Gilderoy Lockhart, Season 2.
And get this, the guy actually auditioned for Harry and Draco 25 years ago. Lost both.
25 years later, he's playing the fraud who steals everyone else's glory. The irony writes itself.
Right? So today we're asking, bold swing or the safe pick?
We're putting Kenneth Branagh's Lockhart against whatever Hoult's about to bring.
Deadline's calling it his villain era. I want to know what that means for this character.
Plus, we're pulling from the books. There's detention scenes and dueling club stuff the film skipped.
And then the backlash. Fans are furious, but not really at Hoult. We'll get into who they're actually mad at.
And we close out looking ahead. Filming starts on this fall, premieres not till December, and Dobby is still nowhere near.
So much to get through. Okay, David, where do we even start with this one?
With the audition tape nobody thought we'd be talking about again. Picture this. It's 2000, some kid walks into a room and reads for Harry Potter. Doesn't get it.
Reads for Draco next. Doesn't get that either.
And now HBO just handed that same kid Hogwarts' vainest professor.
25 years later.
Nicholas Hoult, Gilderoy Lockhart. I want to know why HBO went back to the guy they said no to twice.
Deadline broke this August 11th. Hoult's playing Lockhart in Season 2, the Chamber of Secrets year. Kenneth Branagh is the only person who's ever done it on screen back in 2002.
Right, and Sci-Fi is the one who dug up the audition history.
Right.
He read for both Harry and Draco as a kid, got callbacks on both, lost both.
Sci-Fi also pointed out HBO's own casting announcement took a jab at the character, quoting his book, Magical Me, right in the caption.
Of course they did. Man wrote an autobiography about magic he didn't do.
There's a middle chapter, too. Back in June 2025, on the Today Show, he joked he was, quote, a little bit too old to play Harry now.
Wait, he was already circling this franchise before the part existed?
Not this role specifically, but clearly he hadn't let it go. He also talked up working with Mark Mylod on The Menu that year, which reads differently now, doesn't it?
Sure does. Okay, but here's my issue. The internet had its guy for Lockhart.
Everyone wanted Kit Harington, loudly.
And HBO just ignored the entire fan shortlist.
Which I actually love. That's the more interesting swing.
I land the opposite way. Give your most vain, ridiculous character to the guy the internet's already obsessed with, and that's not a swing. That's the safe, famous pick.
Harrington's a type, though. One note, mostly brooding. Hoult's shown range he's never had to touch.
We're disagreeing already, aren't we?
Probably the whole episode.
Fine by me. And Season 2's shooting this fall ahead of Season 1's Christmas premiere, so this casting call means production's close.
Right. No more waiting around on this one.
But set the irony audition side for a second. Is he actually right for the part? Vanity? Ego? Chaos?
Fair question. Branagh set an impossible bar in 2002.
So does Hoult clear it, or does he just remind everyone my Bran is still the version people quote? Building on that irony, let's compare the performances now.
Okay, so Branagh, can we just sit with how good he was for a second?
The teeth alone deserve an Emmy.
The teeth, the lavender robes, that whole, look how humble I am, bow he does every 5 minutes.
And the pixie scene is the whole character in 90 seconds.
Right, he unleashes Cornish pixies on a classroom of 12-year-olds and just leaves.
Hands the chaos to Hermione and Harry and flees upstairs. That's not a joke, that's a thesis statement.
Total farce, and it works because he never winks at the audience. He plays the vanity dead straight.
Which is exactly why I think Hoult is the more interesting bet, not the safer one.
Go on.
Think about his Peter III in The Great, preening, insecure, genuinely funny, and then something snaps and he's terrifying.
That's a fair comparison, though Lockhart usually doesn't get to be scary until the very end.
That's the point. Deadline's own write-up on this casting called him still in his villain era, tying it right back to Lex Luthor in Superman.
Wait, they actually used that phrase?
Yeah, and I think it matters because Lockhart's third act is a grown man pointing a wand at children.
Branagh never got to play that note. The movie treats his unraveling as a punchline, not a threat.
Right, and if Hoult brings even a sliver of Luther's control-freak menace to that scene, it lands completely differently.
Okay, but here's my hesitation. Hoult's late 30s now. Doesn't that change who Lockhart even is?
How so?
Branagh played him as an aging fraud, coasting on decades of stolen glory. A man past his prime, propped up by lies.
Total lead. And Hoult reads more like someone still building the con.
Exactly. A rising celebrity, not a declining one. Same vanity, different clock.
Which honestly might be scarier. A guy still hungry has more to protect.
Or it undercuts the joke, because part of what's funny is watching a has-been get exposed.
See, that's the actual debate, comic timing versus menace. Branagh basically owns one of those already.
He does. I don't think anyone touches his timing.
But Hoult might own the half of the role the film never had room for.
Which, conveniently, is a 2-hour movie problem.
And season 2 isn't stuck with 2 hours.
No, it is not. So what did the book give Lockhart that Branagh never got to touch?
Shifting gears, the book actually gives Hoult more to work with than Branagh ever got.
Which chapter are we talking?
Chapter 6. Harry gets detention with Lockhart, and it's not a quick gag. It's a whole night answering fan mail.
Oh, the fan mail scene. That never made the movie.
Not a frame of it. And that's where the meatiness under the smile lives. He's terrified of being forgotten.
So the 8-episode structure actually has room to sit in that discomfort.
Right. Then Chapter 11, the dueling club, barely used on screen.
And Chapter 13, the Valentine's Dwarves. Branagh's film got maybe 2 lines of that chaos.
Singing cupids chasing him through the halls? That's prime material for a season with time to breathe.
Poor Gilderoy, ambushed by dwarf grams.
But what actually interests me is the reveal.
The unmasking?
Deadline's own write-up on the casting said he was well-versed in memory charms. That's not a throwaway line. That's the whole crime.
He didn't just lie about his exploits. He erased the people who actually did them.
The 2002 film played it as a punchline, Branagh squawking while Dementors close in.
Which works comedically, but it treats memory theft like a prank, not a violation.
And that's my worry for the adaptation, too. Does it let that land as dark as it should?
What actually gets me about this casting news is who's writing it. Jack Thorne isn't running this alone.
Francesca Gardiner and John Brown, both off Succession.
Exactly. That's a room that spent years on men who lie to themselves before they lie to anyone else.
Huh, hadn't connected that.
Kendall Roy, Lockhart, different castles, same disease. Confidence built entirely on other people's work.
If they bring that instinct to Chapter 6, that detention scene could be the best thing in the season.
And it's the kind of choice a 2-hour script never gets.
No, it really doesn't.
Though not everyone is excited to see more of him, period.
Yeah, that reaction's already loud online, and it's not really about the acting.
Building on that darker read, the fan reaction landed nowhere near dark. It landed disappointed. Disappointed how?
Pink News ran a piece on August 12th. One fan account that's followed Hoult for years just paused posting. And the objection isn't about his acting.
It's the credit, right? Rowling still executive producer?
Exactly. That's the target. Not Lockhart, not Hoult himself.
Okay, so this isn't a one-off. I've been tracking the casting statement since March.
Same. John Lithgow said he was urged to walk away from this thing entirely.
And didn't.
And didn't. Then Nick Frost went public saying his views don't line up with Rowling's.
Papa Esiudu signed a trans solidarity letter.
Belle Powley told The Telegraph she strongly disagrees with Rowling on gender.
So every single casting rollout now comes with its own little disclaimer attached.
It's a pattern. Announcement, then the statement, like clockwork.
Here's what I keep coming back to, though. Who actually benefits from the silence?
Meaning Hoult saying nothing.
Right. HBO gets a news cycle either way. Rowling gets her credit either way.
So the only person with something to lose by talking is Hoult.
Which is probably why he hasn't.
But he will have to, eventually. First junket, first table-read photo, someone shoving a mic in his face.
And whatever he says sets the template for Ginny's casting, for Colin Creevy's replacement, for all of it.
No pressure.
None at all. My money's on a very careful, very rehearsed non-answer.
I'd take that bet. Actors have gotten good at saying nothing with a lot of words.
That's a skill unto itself.
So the discourse keeps churning either way.
Meanwhile, the production doesn't stop for any of it.
Which actually is where we should go next.
Shifting gears, production doesn't care about any of this backlash. Cameras roll this fall.
Right, at Leavesden, while Season 1 hasn't even aired yet.
So Harry's already off to his second year before you've watched him survive the first?
Deadline has Season 1 landing December 25th, and shooting starts this fall, so yeah, overlapping timelines.
That's a wild release strategy. Binge the origin story while the sequel's already in the can.
It also means casting news is going to keep dropping mid-hype for a show nobody's seen yet.
Which brings up who's still missing from this Chamber of Secrets puzzle.
Dobby, for one, and that's a performance capture call, not just a voice booth.
Big swing either way. Do they go full digital character work or something more grounded?
Then there's Ginny. Book 2 barely uses her, but the show's been expanding characters all season.
And Lucius. He got one scene with Harry in the bookshop. Does that pay off now?
That's the follow-through I actually want to see. Set up and dropped feels cheap.
So here's my question for the week.
Go.
Is Hoult the biggest adult swing of the season, or does Dobby end up mattering more?
See, I think Hoult's the headline, but Dobby's the actual risk.
Because a bad Lockhart is embarrassing, a bad Dobby is unwatchable.
Exactly. One's a performance choice, the other is a technical bet the whole season rides on.
Which means the real test of Season 2 isn't even cast yet.
Not officially, no.
So tell us, Lockhart or Dobby, which casting call actually keeps you up at night? Okay, before we let you go, that detention scene from Chapter 6, still the moment that sold me on Hoult's Lockhart.
Don't forget the Valentine's dwarfs.
How could I forget the dwarfs?
Branagh gave us farce. Hoult might give us menace. That's the whole thing with this casting.
Right. So here's what we want you chewing on this week. Is Lockhart actually the riskiest adult casting of Season 2?
Or is the Dobby decision the bigger risk?
Because if they mess up Dobby, the internet's going to have way more to say than it did about Lockhart.
Noted. Tell us what you think.
Follow The Sorting Room wherever you listen, and if you've got a set photo or book detail we missed,
send our way. We're at The Sorting Room.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
See you next week.